Hey everyone, this week's podcast sponsored by Racing in the Dirt. Located in Cleveland, Wisconsin, Racing in the Dirt is ready to put their over 30 years worth of off-road experience to work for you. From turnkey builds to rolling chassis to an awesome selection of parts, the Racing in the Dirt staff has got you covered. Brake kits, aluminum hub kits, enclosed chain drives and kits, drive shaft loops, and even DIY wheelie bar kits, all available. So let Scott, Shane, and the crew at Racing in the Dirt get you the competitive edge you need. Give them a call at area code 920-693-2000. That's area code 920-693-2000. Or find them on Facebook or even racinginthedirt.com. That's racinginthedirt.com and the UPS Daily.
Mr. RPM Cycle in Denton, North Carolina designs, manufactures, and sells high-performance engine components for Can-Am of engines and specializes in V-twin engines. They have an in-house dyno for all your mud, bog, and drag racing needs. They also have a full line of cams, heads, and they make an awesome billet aluminum V-twin block. They also do in-house ECU tuning, big bore kits, turbo, blower, and nitrous oxide builds as well. Please take a look at Mr. RPM Cycle for all your V-twin needs. Visit their website at www.mrrpmcycle.com. That's www.mrrpmcycle.com.
All right, and we're here with Dave Applegate. And Dave, Speeders Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series kicking off today, Thursday, at Greene's Raceway in Disputanta, Virginia. Tell us what you got in store for us this weekend.
We have a lot, and I'm very excited about it. We are here Thursday morning. It's early. I'll just get started here. But tonight, August 22nd, we're looking at noon to about 7:30. We're going to do some registration and some test and tune. That's something that you don't typically see on a Thursday. Obviously, people, will be coming in after work and whatnot. We're going to do a gambler's race tonight at around 8 p.m. $20 entry, 100% payback. Winner takes all. Of course, winner and runner-up can make their choice if they want to split or whatnot. Tomorrow morning, we're going to start at 8 a.m. with test and tune. Registration from 8 to 5:30. Plenty of time to test and tune. We're going to have a driver's meeting. We're going to try and get the races started around 6. So tomorrow night, we've got an open bracket. It's just going to be side-by-sides, ATVs, dirt bikes, things of that nature. No full size. And then we're going to get an ATV bar class, which has a $800 guaranteed to that class. We got ATV no bar, $800 guaranteed to that class. We've got full-size bracket. With the full-size bracket, because of Gravelrama, and we want to definitely give our good luck to Gravelrama. We kind of fell on the same date, so we are not pushing the bracket for full size. But those that live in the area are, instead of making a trip to Cincinnati, are going to come to Greene's. So it's going to be a real cool one. $25 entry, 100% payback. We're going to give them guys
that's an
something
open bracket
to do.
class, right? So you can bring your stock pickup truck.
Yep, stock pickup truck guaranteed. We're going to add $200 to that class guaranteed. So, again, we are all for Gravelrama. I mean, that's the big show. We're not trying to take anything from there. We just know that we are miles and miles and miles away from Cincinnati, so it shouldn't be an issue. Yep. But again, 100% payback, $200 is going to be added. If we get time, we're going to do a 4.0 and quicker bracket, or we might go maybe 450 and slower. We're going to see how it goes, but we are definitely going to do a lot of racing Friday night. We are also looking at our dirt bike guys for Friday night as well as Thursday. Thursday, I forgot to mention that. Thursday, we are doing bracket for dirt bikes and or heads up, depending on what they want to do. Same thing with Friday and Saturday. So dirt bike guys, come on out. At this point, we do not have a class-specific dirt bike class. We will next year. But regardless, Friday night, we've got our test and tune. Then we're going to go into open bracket at some point. We've got, I'm sorry, back up, going back Saturday. Sorry. Saturday, gates open at a.m. Test and tune, we're going to run them to about 11:30. We got a lot of people coming in. We're going to do the kids 13 and under, noon till round 1 until they're done. They are also 100% payback. Then we don't know the order yet. We are looking at this order for now. Okay, but it might change depending on entries. Top Fuel bikes are coming, Class A and Class B.
Boy.
We've got some bad boys coming with the nitro and nitrous oxide and turbo and all that stuff. I don't know. These guys are plumb nuts. I can tell you that. I've watched them a few times, and it is definitely something to see. We're going to have 4x4 ATV naturally aspirated. We got $1,000 added to 4x4 ATV naturally aspirated. And let me back up the Top Fuel bikes. Top Fuel bikes, between me and Greene's, we are putting in basically 200%. So whatever they put in, they get back. Greene's is putting 100% back in, 50% back in, and I'm putting 50% back in of whatever they put in. So those guys are going to have a good payout as well.
Nice.
And then we go to 4x4 ATV Outlaw. Again, that one there is going to be $1,400 added to that one. That's a 4-wheel drive ATV. Then we go to side-by-side Outlaw, $1,400 guaranteed in that class as well. Plus, we have Bernie Racing adding $200 for the fastest ET during eliminations, and we got Angel Performance. Lonnie Angel is putting in $200 for this race for the fastest mile an hour in side-by-side Outlaw. So these guys got an extra $400 they might be able to get. Then we're going to go into open index classes. We got 360, 380, 40. We got $300 added guaranteed to each one of those classes. We go to the next index classes, 420, 440, 460, 480, and 50. $200 added to each one of those classes guaranteed as well. We are looking at, depending on, how many people come in and where we're at, we're going to add other classes if need be. And that's kind of what we're looking at. We've got classes for everyone, trucks, side-by-sides, lay-down bikes, the top fuelers. It's going to be a really big event. We've gotten so many calls and so many messages that I got a phone call 2 days ago from Danny, the owner of Greene's, that said they're going to have breakfast Friday and Saturday because they have so many people calling in that are coming, and they've never done that before, from what I've been told. So we are going to actually have breakfast Friday and Saturday. So we are racing Thursday,
awesome,
Friday, Saturday.
I know that they've been struggling with the weather, so I think a lot of those folks out that way are itching to race. And like I said, you're going to get a lot of dirt bikes there. It'll be cool to see some of them in their own classes. Top Fuel A and Top Fuel B, they've got the 8-inch wide paddle tire limit for Top Fuel B. Top Fuel A is run what you brung and hope it's enough. Those are going to be some really cool to see. I'm a little bit jealous to see you seeing those in person. That's one of my bucket list things. And as you said, this can be the first race with speeders that you're actually going to be able to have those 4x4 ATV classes. And we went and kind of partnered with them and set up 2 brand new World Sand Drag News records that we can guarantee are going to be filled at this event. So we got our A 4-wheel drive Pro ATV, and give you guys a quick rundown of that. It's going to be a 4-wheel bike only, okay? Going to have an OEM or OEM style ATV single cylinder or twin cylinder and V-twin only. Okay, so we're not going into any of the crazy aftermarket street bike stuff. Working 4-wheel drive, OEM engine loop, so they're going to keep the chassis relatively stock in that capacity. OEM or OEM style front and rear fenders required. These are your big 4-wheel drive utility quads. The floorboards and engine side covers and all that stuff is optional. And with the A, this is where you're going to have your power adders or nitromethane. So we're going to have nitromethane injected ones or your turbos, your superchargers, your pro chargers Gonna be really exciting. Going into the B 4-wheel drive Pro ATV, basically all the same for this. The only difference is going to the naturally aspirated one. So it's gonna be that 4-wheel drive ATV naturally aspirated class you're running. Same thing as far as all the configuration goes, as far as motor, as far as the fender requirements, chassis requirements, naturally aspirated here. And this one, no wheelie bars. So the outlaw ones, those ones are going to run wheelie bars. Naturally aspirated, no wheelie bars.
And naturally aspirated, no nitromethane as well.
No nitromethane, correct. If you run nitromethane, for this class, we're considering that a power adder, so that's going to bump you up into a 4-wheel drive Pro ATV. I know you mentioned having all those top fuel bikes out there. They call it top fuel class. They run pretty much anything under the sun. So you've got your nitromethane V-twins, the nitro Harleys that they have out there. You might have some supercharged ones. There's going to be people running nitrous. We've got a whole bunch of different classes set up for those motorcycles. So check them all out, worldsandragnews.com, and you can view all our records there. The absolute world record right now for a two-wheeled machine is owned by Jason Plummer on his Nitro Harley, 2.989 at 121.71 miles an hour. What do you think of that, Dave? Two wheels.
I can tell you, man, we got Gizmo coming. We got George Malott coming. We got, I'll be honest with you, I don't know all the guys' names. I should have had them written down. That's my fault. But I can tell you, man, these boys are coming for it. They are going after it. Not only them, we got to also remember, we got Isaiah Salter that we had on here just last week. And he is going for, I think it's the D class in dirt bike. Is that right, Caleb?
C class. So that's for single cylinder 4-stroke. Yep.
Yeah. So he ran a I think it was a 434. And I think the record right now is a 430 with a 9.
Correct. Yeah. He's right there tickling the record. So, gonna be really close. A lot of those records, I think, are going to be up for contention. It's going to be good air. We definitely see a lot of those dirt bikes out there at Greene's running some big numbers. Might even see the Fowler Racing. They've got a Banshee-powered dirt bike out there running the B Pro bike class. They might be running the Top Fuel B class when they put the big paddle on there. We'll see what they can do. They got the record right now to 368.8. So I think we're going to see some numbers fall for sure this weekend.
Well, I'll tell you this. I was talking to Danny last night, and he told me they've been watching the weather. They've already made changes. They have it on kill. So they are coming out to try and get that record, or beat their record. But I can tell you, we also have another one. We got Brian Monroe looking at the Pure Street Gas. If I'm saying that right, Caleb, is that right? Because he's coming. And he is going for that world record as well.
Yep. Right now, Thomas Carneal over in Newtown, Virginia with the record 4.458 at 81.03 miles an hour. That's a plated and insured pickup truck, folks. 35-inch DOT tires on that machine as well. So no paddles. It's just a pretty quick mover there. And it's going to be interesting to see what that J10's got for Thomas.
Yeah, and it's really cool about this weekend because, Caleb, you said the perfect thing is Mother Nature has kicked all of our butts here in the Southeast for months now. And we've got a weekend that we're looking at low 80s during the day with very little humidity. And in the evening, we're looking at low 60s and the upper 50s. So we are going to be making some horsepower. And we've got 2 4x4 ATV classes that guys are shooting for records. We will definitely start that this weekend. Be honest, it's kind of hoping to see another track do that before we got here, but it didn't happen. So we're going to set the bar here at Greene's this weekend. We've got Brian Monroe shooting for the Pure Street Gas. We've got the Fowlers trying to, get that B. We've got, who am I missing, Caleb? I mean, we've got multiple of them. Isaiah Salter and the dirt bike. We've got a good opportunity to break 4, 5, maybe 6 records this weekend. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, but we are going for it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's also going to be a slew of quick ATVs and side-by-sides going out there for the series as well, and you never know, you know, what kind of times are going to get laid down there, but definitely going to be a record-setting weekend for sure.
Yeah, we got, that's a good point. We got Alex. I can never pronounce his name right. Kapalk. I can't pronounce his right name. He's well and speed guy. He's coming down from Michigan. He's been following the series, every single one, even when it rained out. He come down. So Alex has come down. He's been doing some work to that car, him and John Whalen, and that thing's got a potential to really turn down a really good number. What I wish we had a stock engine class for mine, but we don't. It's not going to work. So, but I'm going to be looking.
Not with the turbo you've got on there, sir.
No, it's not going to work with the turbo I got. But hey, I'm going for my personal best as well. So, yeah, I'm definitely very excited about it. I think it's going to be great. We are going to be doing live. So I'll be there doing live. I've got another guy's going to be doing some videos for us. So it's he's going to be posting them to me. We're going to get him out there between. I don't know what all we got this weekend, Kelly. We got Gravelrama.
We got a lot of stuff going on, but yeah, I think the main double headers are going to be the Greenes race with your series, Dave, and Gravelrama. So plenty of differing type of sand drag action going on as well this weekend.
It's going to be a blast, man. I can't wait. And you know, either one. If you're on closer to Cincinnati or closer to Virginia, even if you don't have nothing to race, man, go out and support these racetracks. You know, I can tell you there's another track that's doing something this weekend real quick. It is Gibson, and I can't think of the name. It's in Kentucky, Martinsville or something like that, Kentucky. Found out today they're doing a little something this weekend. They're doing $50 entry, $1,000 payout guaranteed. So I wish them the best thing there in Kentucky. So there's plenty of racing, man. Go out and visit these tracks and support them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Dave, for joining us, and we'll let you get back to getting everything set up for Greene's Raceway, Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series. Finally kicking off some good weather here, and excited to see some racing.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. See you soon.
All right, we got one more race going on this weekend, August 24th. Homachita is having another race out there. We're going to be looking at Test and Tune noon till 4 p.m. and then they're going to kick it off with a bracket class at 5 o'clock. Following that, we're going to have separate classes for bar bikes and no bar bikes. So we're going to do 100% payout on all the classes, $50 buy-in for each of those classes. We're going to split it 75% for first, 25% for second. So definitely super cool. Homachita Dirt Drags, check them out. Going to be lots of cool bikes out there. They've got a sweet roller system set up, kind of an older deal that they got from the Jeff Gio's track in Gilbert, Louisiana. So definitely a super cool surface. Check them out though. Homachita Dirt Drags. Check them out on Facebook. August 24th. Kicking off at noon with the Test and Tune. Racing is going to start at 5 o'clock in the evening.
Hey everyone, this week's podcast sponsored by Racing in the Dirt. Located in Cleveland, Wisconsin, Racing in the Dirt is ready to put their over 30 years worth of off-road experience to work for you. From turnkey builds to rolling chassis to an awesome selection of parts, the Racing in the Dirt staff has got you covered. Brake kits, aluminum hub kits, enclosed chain drives and kits, drive shaft loops, and even DIY wheelie bar kits, all available. So let Scott, Shane, and the crew at Racing in the Dirt get you the competitive edge you need. Give them a call at area code 920-693-2000. That's area code 920-693-2000. Or find them on Facebook or even racinginthedirt.com. That's racinginthedirt.com and the UPS Daily.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're here with John Sorg, the man, the myth, the legend. And John, someone that didn't end up on our winner sheet here for the winner's circle shootout at Silverback Off-Road Speedway. What happened?
You didn't even say out in the first round. One pass, I couldn't even make the call. And then I get beat by my mentor in the second round in pro class, Jim Bailey. So yeah, I had a rough night.
Man, that's definitely not typical of you. I'm really sorry to hear that. And I know KW, same thing. You guys' little points battle here just lit that up in flames.
Oh, we had it figured out. We were going to line up first round. One of us was going to take the other out, and it was going to be epic. And we both didn't get each other in the first round, and we both got beat in the first round. And then he had a chance in another class to try to go around me, and now he got bumped out in the first round.
Man,
Oh
the
yeah, it was.
WSN crew not pulling their weight this weekend.
I know. And then there was that new Top Dog car that came out with and that car kind of hurt some feelings, and mine included. I won't name any names of drivers like Brennan or Matt Willis, but yeah,
Well,
yeah, it
yeah,
was awesome. I had a
let's
good
definitely
time
get
though.
into it, man, because they
I had a
definitely
really good
they went.
time.
I'm glad you still had a good time. I mean, that's one thing I always say is that even a bad day at the track is it's a good day because you're not at work.
It was great. There's new players in the field, and that's fun to see. So
Absolutely. So let's kick it over. So Friday, we got the open bracket, and first place in the Friday open bracket going to Brian Jones, and then as you were saying, Brendan Willis taking second there in that top dog buggy.
yeah,
So the Willis crew doing work there. Super cool to see that car back out. Obviously, we
yes,
saw
it
it at
is.
the Larry Wagner race, and they were talking like, hey, they might be having it out a little bit more.
Oh, I think you'll see it some more this year, guaranteed.
Absolutely, that's good to hear.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just gonna run through this like just down the list that Silverback's got here. So the 350 index, first place going to Terry Wise, and second
Gary's on
place.
fire, man. What can you say about
Terry is
that?
freaking, yeah, he has got that class on lock.
In second place, you got Ron. We call him Booth because that one's a really rough one to pronounce, but everybody knows Booth. And yeah, Terry even knocked out his best buddy to get a win. But hey, it's all fun and games till green light lights.
Yes, sir. Friends before and after the finish line, but during on that track, no, sir.
See you later.
Going over to next down here, the Pee Wee class. We got Breton Penoyer taking first place over Shane Hudson. Juniors doing work out there. Penoyers obviously own the track. A little bit of favoritism there, maybe, you know.
Oh yeah, she probably gets some extra passes during the week if need be. But hey,
Nah, she does a good job there on
oh
the
yeah,
Pee Wee's class.
she's been kicking butt in that class.
Oh, for sure. Definitely earning it. Moving over to the juniors, the older kids there. We got first place, Crew Herman. And second place, Vivian Nineheis. Another locals there at the track. Pretty cool to see
Yes,
the Nineheis family. I love seeing those guys out there. I mean, they bring the whole family out there and
they do.
race.
They have a riot.
They have the kids classes all the way up to the 290 trike
Yeah,
out there.
do everything to a 290 track. I mean, they got it rounded out, don't they?
That's for sure. Why don't you get a pro index for us there, John?
Pro Index, we had Jay Porninga doing what he does, taking a win over John McCall. And John McCall was interesting because he's really come a long way. He's a circle track guy and coming over to drag race, and he's picking it up pretty quick and pretty hard. And be honest with you, I'd watch out on Friday nights at the end of the year for 350 class because he's getting a tune up in there going for it.
That'd be cool to see. That's
Yeah.
that turbocharged buggy, right? He's got a
Yes.
LS. Is
Runs
it
the
twin turbo or?
325 class.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's setting a tune up in it to run 350s on Fridays. That way he can double dip.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about those turbo cars. You can kind of put a
Yeah.
more aggressive or less aggressive tune and kind of go all over those indexes. It's fun.
He got to make an exhibition pass last race. Took his wife for a ride. He said that was pretty
man.
awesome. Oh yeah, he ran a 3:39 with a passenger.
Oh my goodness. That's got to be one of the quickest passenger passes.
Passenger rides, yes.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Moving over to the ATV class, we got Matthew Keith taking the win over John Stoner. And then Pro Comp. All right, tell us what happened here at Pro Comp.
Jim Bailey got the win over Matt Willis. Pulled a major hole shot. He had a 0.12 light to Matt's 0.92. I mean, they were both going for it, but Jim got the better end of the stick on that. But good job for Matt. He'd been out of the field for a while and coming back and kicking butt. Yeah, Jim took me out on the way out, so he ended my day.
Hey, it's nice to be beaten by someone that's gonna win the class, though.
Especially Jim,
Yeah, no, Jim's awesome. And then over in the open modified, we see Brendan Willis again in there on the podium. This time taking first place over Brandy McWeffy. What was Brandy driving?
She was driving Brian's pickle, the quad. His snowmobile-powered quad, the green pickle.
Gotcha. Yeah, the pickle. Is that what they call it?
The pickle. They call it the pickle before she was around.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Then moving over to Pro ATV, we see the Stoners taking first and second place. So John Stoner, who got second in the ATV class, taking the win in Pro ATV over Sean Stoner. So I'm not sure. I know they've got a couple of Banshees in that class. I'm not sure which one John rides, but
he's the orange one.
The orange one, okay.
Yep. His dad's got the maroon.
But super cool to see them. Family affair there. Doing some work there in the ATV classes.
They're my neighbors at the track, and they work their butts off. So good to see them doing that.
Those guys. And then comp, who do we see there again there, John?
I know, another Willis, Brendan. I mean, it's like the dude never left.
Man. Getting the win over Mitchell Eaker.
Over Mitchell Eaker. Mitchell was on a roll too, but got stopped in the end by Willis.
And I think that top dog buggy is just good luck. I think that's what it is.
I think so too. I mean, it's got some good old backing behind it.
Absolutely. And then kind of rounding out, we had the Pro Truck class, and no surprises here. The moneymaker himself, Mr. Tom Hartman Sr., taking the win over Jay Portinga.
Doing what he does best. Putting an end to people's nights.
I would say that between Tom and Jay there, they have definitely won their fair share of races and taken a lot of people's money over there in the Michigan area. Across the years.
You think?
So congrats to Tom. We did a little feature with his truck. The last race of the Larry Wagner Memorial. Go check that out. And congrats to Jay taking second place there. So pretty cool weekend there in Silverback Off-Road Speedway. And John, you guys have your season finale coming up, right?
Our season finale will be the weekend after Labor Day. I don't know the exact date, but I think that's
September.
I want to say 6th and 7th, but
yeah, I think it's the 7th. Check real quick here.
I can pull a calendar. Yeah.
Yeah,
Friday
7th and 8th.
Saturday the 7th.
Cool.
So yeah, that'll be our actual points finale.
Mm-hmm.
Labor Day weekend, they are holding a race, but it's not points. So
gotcha. Specialty deal for that. But Pro Truck Nationals also going to be on the season finale race as well, correct?
Correct. And they just announced last weekend that we will be racing October 3rd there.
Oh, okay.
As another 9 points event. So that'll be kind of neat.
Sweet. Lots of racing going there at Silverback.
So we got a little bit more coming.
Yeah, right on. Well, we're excited to see where all the points falls on that. and we'll definitely bring you guys results from the Labor Day race as well. So stay tuned for more of that. And Jon, you got to get going to Gravelrama.
I'm packing up pillow here in a minute and heading out in the morning.
All right.
And we'll talk to you
definitely
then.
see you there. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again, Jon. And we'll see you guys next time for more racing action from Silverback Off-Road Speedway.
Hey everyone, this week's podcast sponsored by Racing in the Dirt. Located in Cleveland, Wisconsin, Racing in the Dirt is ready to put their over 30 years worth of off-road experience to work for you. From turnkey builds to rolling chassis to an awesome selection of parts, the Racing in the Dirt staff has got you covered. Brake kits, aluminum hub kits, enclosed chain drives and kits, dry shaft loops, and even DIY wheelie bar kits, all available. So let Scott, Shane, and the crew at Racing in the Dirt get you the competitive edge you need. Give them a call at area code 920-693-2000. That's area code 920-693-2000. Or find them on Facebook or even racinginthedirt.com. That's racinginthedirt.com. And the UPS Daily.
We're here with Jordan Heiman and Mini Mooch, Damian Bowers from World Sanddrag News, actually on the grounds for our event that we're going to be talking about here. It is officially Gravelrama 53 time, America's annual four-wheel drive happening. Got a lot of cool stuff. First of all, let's get our special guest here, Jordan. Jordan, introduce yourself to our folks here for Paddle Talk. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got involved with racing, and what you're doing for Gravelrama.
Hi guys, my name is Jordan Heiman. A lot of people know me from the video that Damien took, me wheeling my Jeep over almost completely over backwards at Brookville with my blower in it. So what got me into sand drag racing is my mom and dad used to race my Jeep way back when. My dad built it. He met my mom. They started racing together. Fun fact, they actually got married at Brookville Racetrack. They had their wedding there. So they raced it for a while. I always loved going. I've been going to Gravelrama since I can remember. And my uncle Mike Graham, he's passed, but he used to run the Vandal. And it was always a really cool Jeep. So I've always been around the sand drag community. And also around the mud community with TJ Rigacci's Altered. It was always a crazy car. So I received the Jeep, completely rebuilt it from just the frame and the tub sitting on the floor to what it was, and then what it ended as. I still have it. I just need to fix it and re-put it back together. So Gravelrama prep. So I had my Altered ready to go. My Altered, if a lot of people know that I bought the old Traxxas Altered and completely redone it. I bought it as just a frame and went crazy on it. I used to have a dragster. I took everything out of the dragster, blower car out of the dragster, did a bunch of upgrades to the motor and stuff, and put it in the blower car and did the Altered. It was almost ready. I then did an injector change. I bought the Big and Ugly off Joe Gorney's wreck car and completely fixed it and tuned it. Mike at Alki Diggers really helped with a lot of that. He was very shocked we were able to get such a big injector to work on such a small motor, but it worked. It was working really good. And then about 3 or 4 days ago, we were all like, everybody's doing the Gravelrama crunch, everyone's getting all their stuff ready, getting everything ready to rock. And all I needed was the drive shaft shortened for my blower car. That was it. That was the only thing that's been keeping me from races. And well, John Trainer texted me and said he wanted a better high quality blower for his car, 871. And a lot of people know that I have a high helix competition blower that was on my car. And came down to it, and I just sold all the blower stuff to him and Jack. Jack bought the blower intake and pulleys and all the stuff for the LS setup. And John bought the blower, and we put all that stuff on. And John's going to be racing that dragster this weekend, and he's going to hit the number that he wants. I think he's got a very good chance. I know he's going to be in the quick 8. That's Thursday. And that's going to be awesome. There's a lot of cool cars I think is going to be in that class, and it's going to be down to the 8 people, but I think it's going to be a really good race tomorrow. And so I bought I traded my dragster that used to be trainers for the old Kentucky Thunder car, the bad juju car, and completely done it. Last night I was up till 2:30 at night swapping motors and stuff into it. I took the motor out of my blower car because I knew it stalled good and it's a good running motor for now. And put all that stuff in there and got the car running. And my mom's going to be racing the event. So I'm just going to be pit crewing, relaxing. And I know that it needs some carb adjustment. But Damien's uncle, Thomas, he came up to me when I pulled in. And I told him the kind of problems I was having. He told me he'd help me out tomorrow before we go to race. So, everyone in the community, like I just pulled out of John Trainer's house. Jack just got done welding the headers on it. I put them on, started it up, loaded it in the trailer, and went down to gravel.
That's definitely one of the cool things about the Sandro community. Everybody helps everybody out. I have to say, Jordan, I'm a little bummed we're not going to see the altered run. I was watching the build progress on that and love that chassis, love the body work you put on it. And I was looking forward to seeing it run, but at least it will live on in a trainer's car. And best of luck. You're going to be, crew chief for your mom this weekend. I know, Damien, you've just went through and thrashed it, as Jordan was saying, that the crunch there, got the leftovers Jeep running. And let's get into talking a little bit about Gravelrama. So, Damien, you are there on the Gravelrama IOK four-wheelers grounds, and the parade just went and happened. I think they're doing the live band right now. So tell us just about the vibes, who's there, and what we're looking so far.
Well, right now I haven't really gotten to see a lot of who all's here, but I know a lot of the Lisbon crowd, they were actually racing last night at an event 200 foot up in their area, and then drove here today for Gravelrama. So like Andrew's Dream, the Darlings, they've got their dragster here. I seen Rusty Searle is here. He's got the Indian Uprising, one of my favorites, blown Pontiac 4-cylinder in a stock wheelbase CJ5.
Love that.
But there's a lot of people that still haven't gotten here yet. Tomorrow they open tech up from 8 to 10, and then at 1 p.m. they're starting test and tune till 5, and then they're going.
Well, yeah, let's talk a little bit about what's going on for tomorrow. So tomorrow they're having, I think I saw the bracket race tomorrow.
Yes.
Flat drags.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pulling up the info here. So they're going to be doing, that's $30 entry fee for that, 100% payback, winner take all for the bracket. And then as Jordan, you were mentioning too, the quick 8 also going down there. That is a $200 entry fee. That's going to be heads up though. That's where we're going to see the baddest of the bad really vying for that. You guys are going to get 2 qualifying sessions for it. And again, 100% payback, winner take all. So that's all going to be flat drag stuff for Thursday.
Right. Curtis Combs, he's parked across from us here. They've got the Jeep back together from their his little excursion outside the fairgrounds at Brookville. He ran the track a little long and had a little hairy in the shop there.
Yep. Now, good to see that they got
just
that
saying
all
he went
fixed
through
up
the
there.
fence.
So, good to see that he's going good again, and going to be a lot of other competitors there vying for that quick 8 field. I'm sure the Curtis is going to be one of them.
Guys,
really
got any
looking
race
forward to
picks?
seeing- Ooh, race picks for the quick 8.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Cody Trice is there, I think he's going to get my pick for the quick 8. I just
he's been dominant.
He's been on a roll, so I think, and he'll definitely have a car that will, I think, should be getting into the field there, and yeah, with his role both in top eliminator in a couple different tracks and in the truck, I don't know, it's gonna be tough to beat.
I would say probably Jack Trainer. His altered it's really nice. It can run a number. I know it can. He's been taking a lot of time with that car, so I think if he gets it to go down, he's gonna be a competitor for sure. And obviously his dad, Jon, hoping with the new blower and stuff, it'll pick up and go. He's always been really, really good in the quick 8 classes.
Yeah. Damien, who do
Well,
you
with
got
this,
for quick 8?
the thing about this quick 8 class, it's a heads up class, no breakout.
Yep, top eliminator.
No,
Farwick's gonna
not
have a
even
good
top
time.
eliminator. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Farwick.
Ah,
He
that's
went
true. Yeah.
280s lifting at 200 foot up in Michigan. So it's gonna be unless I've heard rumors of several cars from Michigan coming down for the quick 8. So who knows? We might even see the Rose.
I
Hey,
think the
that'd be
mean
cool.
one Dragster's coming too.
You don't
I
know if
heard
they're
that
gonna
maybe
be
he
here or
might
not.
come.
Right, but I'd have to say Farwick would be my pick for quick 8.
That's a good pick for sure. So that's gonna be all Thursday, and then we're going into the hill drags on Friday. Now, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about what makes Gravelrama special here. It's not just flat drags like we typically cover. You got the hill drags, which is about a 150-foot track, 100-foot track. Do you guys
100
know what
foot,
that like? It's 100 foot.
100 foot from the base where you stage to the finish line. It's another 50 foot to the crest, and then about another 150 foot before you hit a berm at the back of the shutdown, which unfortunately a couple of years ago at Gravel 50, we had a guy that went for a wild ride across that berm.
Well, he just decided, that the cow jumping over the moon fairy tale. He just needed to test that theory with his car, and it turns out you can do that. So everybody that is going to be competing Friday at the hill drags, we wish you guys please be safe. Please lift. Make sure all of your safety equipment's up to date. Jordan knows safety equipment can save you when you're in a hairy situation. But the class structure
Wheelie
for that
bars.
too. Wheelie bars gonna have to be a little bit of a different setup too for the hill
definitely.
drags.
We have to raise our wheelie bar up almost to where the bar is pressed against the rear bumper of the Jeep to make sure that it's not going to unload the car a bunch.
Yep. But the way that you guys have the class structure, so this is no longer Gravelrama is no longer associated with the East Coast Four-Wheel Drive Association, but a lot of the class structure is still pretty heavily influenced. Damien, you're really kind of a numbers cruncher with a lot of the class structure stuff. So for the people at home that don't really understand what, all these, they basically have a bunch of lettered classes out. Explain a little bit of how that gets figured out based upon the tech sheet.
Okay, so basically it comes down to, it starts off with your cubic inch of whatever your motor is, 4-cylinder, flathead 4, V8, V6, inline 4 like the uprising is. Then you claim power, you claim modifications. So cubic inch, you start with 80% of that on most combinations. It's a little different for various ones, but for the V8, which is the majority of stuff you'll see, you claim 80% of that. Then you add in points first. Like our combination, we have to claim intake, our carburetor, our camshaft, and the factory aluminum cylinder heads. And then on top of that, we have to claim an extra 30% of our points for the nitrous we're running. All that ends up with a 4.8 on spray and A class at right around 2,900 pounds.
Gotcha. So everything it's this accumulated point structure, and that is really what places you into your different classifications. Then
Exactly.
the higher up the alphabet you get, generally that's the quicker vehicles. Obviously there is a little bit of spread. Sometimes you get some vehicles in lower classes that fight a little bit above that weight class, but generally as you get up to A class and XA and everything, they'll add that as a factor on there. You're going to get quicker and quicker vehicles. And you guys run that structure both for the hill drags and for the flat drags. And for the big eliminator hill, which we'll get to in a second. So, Jordan, I know you said your mom's racing. What class is she going to be running in the hill drags?
We're gonna hope that she falls along the A class, or because I think my brother's gonna run the car too. Again, I'm just gonna crew chief this weekend. So if we can get her in the A class, which when Otis, everyone knows Otis, he came and actually helped us crunch sheets to figure out where we're gonna kind of fall, a rough idea because we don't know the weight of the car, and she should be in A class. And then I think, if correct me if I'm wrong, Damien, if two people run the car, somebody has to go up a class to run the car, right?
Up or down a class, depending on how you do it. If you
If you want to
like
add
our
weight.
car, if we were to want to go to B class with this combination, we would either not run nitrous or we'd have to add like 500 pounds just
Gotcha.
to jump a class. Or where we go to XD, we could lose damn near 500 pounds, but you physically can't pull that much weight off of the car.
Off the car. And
Yeah.
so hopefully she'll fall along the lines of A class, we're hoping, because she'd be pretty competitive. I mean, it'd be nice. It's nice to see the car. XD at worst. If Austin's gonna run, it'll be XD. He's just out there to have fun. And luckily with my blower car, I've always luckily fallen under XA because unlimited class is a hard class to be in. There's some heavy hitters in the unlimited class. It is very, very hard to run that class. But nobody runs the hills and nobody runs the eliminator hill on unlimited. So those are easy trophies.
Well, yeah, and that's the crazy thing is that the hill drags, because it is such a short track, and things get very rowdy very quick. You're right. There's not a lot of the big cars that run it, just because there's not a lot of room, not a lot of room for error, and even in some of the lower classes, you're looking at such a short track that a lot of things go wrong very quick, and
100 foot, all the weights. 100 foot,
Go ahead,
all
Damien.
the weights shifting directly to the rear as soon as you hit the side of that hill, and then you're pouring all the power to it you can. We have to put 60 pounds on the front of the Jeep to try and keep the front end down, and it'll still try and probably pick the nose up.
Just like Kellen Trainer last year, he raced unlimited on the uphill drags, and he wheelied it. You could walk under that car when he wheeled it, and it kind of bananaed the front end. But he won. I'm almost positive he won the trophy for that. He got first in XA. I think first in unlimited. I think there was only 2 cars that ran unlimited last year. But he crazy wheelie. He must have thought he was on the eliminator hill. He done such a big wheelie. But he said he had a great time. So again, it boils down to fun. And he wears the safety equipment and stuff. So he turned out okay from it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's definitely a wild ride. It's a wild ride getting stopped. As we were talking, sometimes things go wrong. It's one of those types of racing we don't see very many places, and especially seeing it side by side. There's very few places across the country that run a type of hill drag setup like this with timers and everything. That's not out just on a rough hill in the dunes. So it makes for a really exciting racing. But that's all going down Friday, and then Saturday. What we got going on Saturday, guys?
Flat drags.
Flat drags.
Back to flat drags.
The business, baby.
Mm-hmm. So
starts off
back
with the
to
women's bracket.
Mm-hmm. Women's bracket. And this is where we go into all of the class racing back on here. So Thursday night you're doing bracket racing on the flat drags. Saturday is all of the class racing, and you guys will see the same vehicles in those same class structures. Now, not everybody ends up running hill drags, flat drags, and the eliminator hill, but you can run the same vehicle in each of those categories. Jordan, what's the biggest difference that you found between running the hill drags on Friday and running the flat drags on Saturday?
Well, I would say I've never got to run the hill drags. But what my mom would definitely say is she loves the hill drags way more. She says it's more fun because you can go a lot of places and race the flat drags. Again, Gravelrama is luckily a facility that has some very unique events, and uphills are pretty fun, but you can really wind the car out on the flat drags. So you can see what she'll do. especially for the faster classes. Everybody loves to see a blower car. So
Yeah, you got 3 times the track length. Damien, is there any like calculus that goes into it with trying to make the car live a little bit longer on the flat drags versus the wheelie setups for hills?
Well, the hill drags, again, a lot of the setups, we've set the cars up so aggressively for the flat drags over the years to where we're wheeling on a flat surface. So when we go up that hill, we're having to strap weight to the nose, keep the wheelie bar on, and raise it way up just to catch us in case it does stand up. Like last blast last year, we were spraying the 6-liter on the hill drags, and I took the weight off the nose, and as soon as it would hit the side of the hill, the front end would be 3 feet in the air. So we ended up putting 60 pounds on those, and it's still trying to pick it up. On the flat drags, we'll take that weight off, and then if we need it for the class, we'll probably put the weight further back, try and get more traction on that flat surface. Anything we can do to try and get more, just that little bit more out of it. Obviously, drop the wheelie bar back down to where you're not going to look straight up at the stars when you let go of the button.
yeah, it's not a good feeling.
Right. The biggest thing is on every class X, D, and above, so the faster classes, they run a pro tree on both events. The hill drags, everybody runs a pro tree, so everything's happening so fast for every class. On the flat drags A class and below, everyone switches to a sportsman tree, so more of what we're used to with the bracket racing style tree, and it levels the playing field a little bit. And you'll see guys that'll give a little bit on the tree because they know they're that much faster, and sometimes it'll bite them.
I'll red light like crazy on a sportsman tree. I hate sportsman trees. I'm a pro tree kind of man.
It definitely is it's a different mind game there with the sport tree for sure. And talking about these kind of the class structure and everything, because everything is run heads up on Saturday minus the women's bracket class, you've got to kind of factor in like, okay, I'm in the same kind of sort of weight class, we'll call it, with your competitor, but there's still a lot of variance in there in the performance. So do you have enough room to wait on that tree? How much do you have? Like, can you give up a little so you don't red light? There's a lot of kind of mind games that go into that. Now, thankfully, it's not like comp eliminator like we see on pavement drags. There's no penalty for going quicker. So if you've got just a combination that you're running B class and you got 0.3 of a second on the rest of the field, you can run it out the back end every single time and not have to worry about that. Same thing goes for the hill drags, of course, but you get a little bit more of that runway on the flat drags with the extra 200 feet.
It's definitely great for the upper classes. And I love testing cars at gravel. I don't know, I feel safer when I test things there. The way the sand gravelly, pea gravel kind of eats up a little bit of the power and stuff. You can kind of really see what a car is going to do. And you can run some good times, but Brookville, obviously you run much faster because of the bite. But just the way the cars go down the track at gravel, and the way that the faculty has been turning it over. Last year, it was a lake when we showed up. It was water, and they turned it into a track within an hour to 2 hours out there, and we were out there racing. It was awesome. I'll say that the track staff is awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mother Nature came back around at the end of the night.
It did. It did.
Yeah, thankfully
we were getting rained on.
Looks like we're not going to have that issue this race, but yeah, the track surface, as you were saying, Jordan, it's very different than any other track in the country. That pea gravel surface, it's like racing on marbles, but soft marbles. It's one of those things where it's interesting. You pointed out that it does rob a lot of power, and this is one of those tracks where it's not the fastest track in the nation, but it's kind of built up this reputation of being this big 4-wheel drive playground. And that's why we see so many people converge on Cleves, Ohio every single year for Gravelrama, because this is where you get that kind of even playing ground that you're talking about, that everybody kind of can come together and say, okay, you think you're fast? Let's see if you are. And the 300-foot flat drags are definitely a place to do that. But that's not all that Gravelrama has to offer. So Sunday comes around and we head to what is known as the Big Eliminator Hill. And Damien, why don't you tell us a little bit about what people have to look forward to with the Big Eliminator?
Big Eliminator, it's generally considered one of the biggest challenges in the sport, obviously. It's a 170-foot tall pile of pea gravel, stacked as steep as they can, generally around a 70-degree incline. The faster classes, so they'll run if you want to run it in unlimited, you can. I don't think many people will. You'll see some XA cars on the hill. And as you go down the list, obviously the classes will get bigger and bigger. But most of the classes will stage on the side of the hill for their first and second runs. And then as you go down in the classes, they'll start first, get down in the bowl, and then they get down into like the H and I classes, and they're starting outside the bowl and getting a big run up at it just to try and make it over this big pile of pea gravel.
Yeah, so that's actually a very good point there, Damien, is that, this hill, I would say this, is that looking at it on video or in photos does not do it justice for how massive this hole is. Now, you're talking about starting in a pit. That's one thing that we don't really talk about a lot. This hill starts in a hole.
In a bowl.
So
a deep
even
bowl.
this giant bowl that you drop into, that adds a good, extra whatever amount of feet that bowl is. It's a pretty deep hole in the ground there, on top of how high this is stacked.
It's big enough to swallow a car. So
absolutely big enough to swallow a car. Not to mention, again, that pea gravel surface. Now, this is something that they've had challenges where I've heard wild stories of $1,000 anybody that could crawl up this with their bare hands. This is such loose material that adds to the challenge of this. And just to be able to make it up this hill is a really big deal for a lot of folks, regardless of vehicle type. So, Damien, you're talking about some of the smaller class, or the slower classes rather, starting outside this hole. So tell us a little bit more about where we'll kind of see a lot of those cars.
Well, a lot of the stuff and whatnot, you'll see the H and I classes throughout the weekend. They also, again, on Monday, a lot of the lower class cars will run the obstacle course too. So there's 4 events that are class factored. But on the big hill, the biggest challenge, especially such classes XD, A, XC, a lot of these guys are running carbureted combinations. And you have to go down in the bowl, drive up the hill, and stage at a 70-degree incline with a Holley carburetor. And anyone knows how floats work, they tend not to like to give the fuel, or they give too much fuel at those kind of angles.
I know, Jordan, you guys are going to be struggling a little bit with that carb set. Do you think that
we put a carb set? It's funny because I was going to put a Ron's injection system on it, because everyone asked me if I would run my car, the blower car, on it. I would probably took the blower car and screwed the adjustments down so much to where I can only open the throttle just a tad bit. It'd probably make it over the hill, because I probably would have been one of the only people in Unlimited to go over the hill. So it'd been a guaranteed trophy. But if injection cars will definitely have, if they have like a Ron's toilet bowl or something, they're doing pretty good, because there is no floats. But carburetors, they're special on flat ground. So, I know a lot of guys do jet extensions and stuff, but it's still, like he said, it's such a severe angle. The carburetor, it's just not, it just kind of sloshes the fuel away from the bowl, the float. It's unique.
Oh, yeah.
So beyond just the carburetor issues, again, just like the flat drags, you're battling traction and you're on that incline, doing the same thing that you're talking about, Damien, different wheelie bar setups. And a lot of these people, when you're really staging up there, you can't even see the rest of the hill. You're looking at sky. It's so steep. So, Damien, especially for someone that's been up it, like, what is that experience in the driver's seat like?
The first time I'd ever done it, and the few times I'd done it since, you pull down in that bowl and all you just see is a wall. You just see a wall of pea gravel in front of you, and you're just looking up at it, and you almost can't even see the sky looking up it from the hole. And then you having to drive up it with as rough as it gets, because this is not something where they can regularly prep the track. This thing will get ruts and jumps in it, and people are launching drag cars up it. And you're
I
just
think
thinking,
it
what
gets
am I
harder
doing?
the
Then
further
you
the
stage
classes
up.
go.
Yes and no, because some of the lower classes, like the first time I ever ran the hill, we had smooth front runners on it, and I bounced it off the walls repeatedly, but I made it up cleanly, and that helped me get up it. But the second round, I couldn't get moving as easily, and then with those front runners, I had no steering input really, so it just kind of went where it wanted and ended up coming up short. But it is such a weird feeling, and then there's the other part: you come up short. You don't get pulled over the top. You don't get to get out. You have to back down the hill from wherever you made it. So I've made it up to about 10 feet from the top with the car pointing about 45 degrees off center of the track. And I have to back it down that hill, down to the bottom and out of the bowl.
Mama's
that is-
never made it up. Yep.
That
She
is
calls it
definitely
the,
one
she
of
calls
the-
it the
Eerie
back of
feeling.
shame. She calls it the back of shame. She has never made it up. She has tried multiple times in the Jeep back when her and dad ran it. Dad made it up. Mom has gotten like a foot from the top, dug in, and boy, does she want to go over the top of that hill so bad. But she always
She
calls
wants
it the
that little
back of
plaque.
shame. Yep, she wants that. She wants that wooden plaque and her pea gravel so bad. So we'll see if we can get her up there this year.
Right on. Yeah.
Definitely got
no,
the
and-
car to do it.
I hope, but again, we'll tuning
chassis-wise.
adjustment, but I think as long as we're having fun.
Exactly.
And that's the kind of cool thing I think about the limiter hill is that it's a mixture of car setup, driver, and honestly a little bit of luck, just like you're saying, Damien, depending on what kind of ruts are left there from the people in front of you. And it's a big hill, it's loose material, a lot of stuff can happen.
I'd say bravery. Lots of bravery for a
Sure.
lot of the
You
drivers.
see a lot of that down here.
Do you remember the Jeep? Was it last year, the green Jeep that kind of tried to go up and he ended up coming down over to the left?
There was one that did that on 50.
Oh, that must have been
Oh,
Gravelrama.
yes,
Nearly
that was,
ran over people.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
one of
please,
the rooters.
please, racers and crew, watch out. As we're saying, that backing
And
down, even if
that
you're
Jeep
just backing down.
That Jeep has been at every Gravelrama.
Yep.
It was one of the I believe it was one of the Ruthers. He got to bounce, and it's an old straight six Jeep. Got the old straight six engine in it, and they race it on the obstacle course. It's leaf sprung. He got about 10, 15 feet from the top, and it started bouncing and just turned left at wide open throttle and just along for the ride. And he got it stopped about 15 feet above where all the officials and track crew were sitting.
Yeah. No, that was
No,
kind of a scary deal. So just
Yes, it
once
was.
again, all the racers try to be careful out there, whether you're getting a little out of shape there, or even just didn't make it over the peak and you're backing it down. Let's just watch it. We don't want to see anybody rolling. And all the track staff that are helping with the eliminator hill, keep your eyes on eyes and head on a swivel there, because you never know when a green Jeep might be coming towards you. Damien, you've talked a little bit about the last event that happens at Gravelrama. We don't cover it quite as much here because they do this weird thing called turning. We're more about going straight. But the obstacle course. So and you guys have been around this for a long time, been to a lot of Gravelramas. Tell us a little bit about the obstacle course.
The obstacle course.
Yeah.
I got to see it for the first time at Gravel 50. I stayed here for Monday and actually sat down and watched it. And you'll see a lot of the cars from A class and below. Generally, if they run the flat drags and the hill drags and the hill, they're not usually the strongest contenders because they've been set up more focused for the obstacle course in their class to try and handle the jumps, handle the bumps, handle the turns, because that's a whole different world compared to setting a car focused up for the drags. And you'll see a car from G class contending for the fastest time on this obstacle course because he actually has suspension compared to a Jeep with a stock leaf spring setup that's got 400 horse.
My grandpa
Jordan,
actually used to run the obstacle course. Very surprising. One of the very seldom people that would show up to Gravelrama just for the obstacle course. He used to run in a black CJ5. I actually have it at the house. It was with
Another
a
Heiman
304.
vehicle.
Get it running.
Yeah. Another one. I got quite a few. I collect cars like yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I just don't want to see him go. He passed it down to my brother, so it's been out here. It's got a 304 AMC motor and a 4-speed in it. And he used to run the obstacle with that. Yep, it was awesome. My grandma used to tell a story that back when they first started running and stuff, it had broke down, and he got out and foot raced the rest of the track just because he wanted to complete it. Because he said they didn't have a rule about the car going across the finish line. He just had to.
So, Jordan, are you saying that maybe in the future that might be another vehicle getting fixed up to maybe?
Yeah, I would say that's one thing I do enjoy is the build. Obviously, because I change setups so constantly, I do enjoy seeing stuff come together and go. So that's going to be like a very special one to do because we're going to keep it exactly the way it is. I'll redo the motor and stuff, and yeah, it'll be a fun little. It'd be cool to do the obstacle. I never stay for it other than when he was alive. So it's fun. It's a racing event for like just an all around racing event.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're talking about doing it in that cheap and not having some crazy harebrained idea to run the altered on the obstacle course.
Yeah, no.
That might be a little much.
That might
If I
end up with
wheelie
some
hard enough, if I wheelie hard enough, I might be able to get over the concrete tubes.
But there you go, folks. That is Gravelrama 53 in a nutshell. 4 different events, all coming up. Damien, we'll let you get back to having the fun here. You're out there getting set up and go enjoy the hanging out and socializing and stuff. And then we'll definitely hear from you guys coming tomorrow for the hill drags or the flat drag bracket race, hill drags, class racing on the flat drags and the big limiter hill. And stoked for you guys, and good luck to your mom, Jordan, and Mini Mooch. We're looking to see you take home some hardware.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Out for trophies this year, so we'll hope, and I hope everyone has a good time.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
All right, thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Hey everyone, this week's podcast sponsored by Racing in the Dirt. Located in Cleveland, Wisconsin, Racing in the Dirt is ready to put their over 30 years worth of off-road experience to work for you. From turnkey builds to rolling chassis to an awesome selection of parts, the Racing in the Dirt staff has got you covered. Brake kits, aluminum hub kits, enclosed chain drives and kits, drive shaft loops, and even DIY wheelie bar kits, all available. So let Scott, Shane, and the crew at Racing in the Dirt get you the competitive edge you need. Give them a call at area code 920-693-2000. That's area code 920-693-2000. Or find them on Facebook or even racinginthedirt.com. That's racinginthedirt.com and the UPS Daily.